And welcome to the Upside Sports Network. Appreciate all you guys joining us on a Thanksgiving Thursday. Great day of football, as James said here in the chat already. It was a great game, pretty much all throughout the day. Buffalo beating Detroit, predictable, but the ending of that game was a little bit more hairy than Buffalo really would have liked. Dallas, of course, took care of business against the Giants. First half, not so much, but they did end up wrestling control of the game in the second half. And, of course, great nightcap anyway with the Patriots and Vikings. But we're, of course, going to talk a little bit of baseball with you guys, trying to keep you guys updated throughout the offseason as to what's going on. So we really appreciate all of our new subscribers we've gained today. I think we've gained in the neighborhood of like 6 subscribers today. So, by the way, thank you guys very much. And we really do appreciate it, closing in on that 1,000 goal. And we'll be able to put out a lot more content for you guys once we reach that level. We really do appreciate all the support. So thank you if you did subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, thank you. If you haven't subscribed yet, what's taking you so long? But in all seriousness, I really do appreciate all the support. Thank you, guys. But as far as baseball goes, only one real piece of news came out today is that the Minnesota Twins have reportedly made multiple contract offers to free agent shortstop Carlos Correa. He, of course, Came over from the Houston Astros last year, signed that 3-year, $105 million deal with opt-outs after the first and second year. He was, of course, looking for Corey Seager type money last year, 10 years, $325 million that Seager signed with the Texas Rangers. Ultimately, his market never really developed. The best offer he got was 10 years, $275 from the Detroit Tigers. He obviously didn't like that type of a deal, opted instead to go with the option years with Minnesota. That way he could have another bite at free agency this offseason, and so far, looks like he's going to be able to get the market he wants. I mean, there are 4 really good shortstops on that. Not much really there either. But and then, of course, catching, you got Wilson Contreras. Is probably the best bat as far as a catcher that's available, along with Christian Vasquez anyway. But as far as the trade market, the catcher, of course, everybody wants is Sean Murphy. We'll keep an eye on where he ends up going. I thought maybe we could see a movement to, or a trade anyway, to the Tampa Bay Rays around the Rule 5 deadline earlier this past week anyway. But didn't get anything done then, but still should see him moving on because they're going to go with Shea Langeliers as their catcher going forward. But there's the news anyway so far today is, again, the Minnesota Twins have made multiple contract offers to Carlos Correa. In case you guys are wondering what exactly those offers were, let me show you those real quick. Let me get it pulled up for you guys. In case you guys are unfamiliar, the site I use for quite a bit of the information, and then of course Twitter and other sources as well, is MLBTradeRumors.com. Some bit of news here for Rangers fans. You might remember a guy named Ariel Hirado. I actually started following his career when he was 16 years old, when he was basically down in DSL 1 for the Texas Rangers, Dominican Summer League anyway. Absolutely fantastic player back then. Was putting up numbers at that age against hitters that were much older than him. Never really developed a strikeout pitch, though, and that was kind of his undoing when he finally did reach the major leagues. Just gave up way too much contact anyway, and unfortunately just didn't get anything going. But we'll see where he ends up going from here. Looks like he's going to go to the KBO. Hopefully he can develop that strikeout pitch, but looks like he's going there for about $1 million. Other news, of course, Willy Adames apparently had conversations with the Brewers about a contract extension. Not surprising. Brewers try to keep most of their talent in-house if they can, on contracts they can stomach, if you will. The one bad one that they've signed so far is Christian Yelich, and that's not getting any better for them, unfortunately. If I can get it. Where are you? Shelby Miller drawing interest, as you might expect. Back into the rotation starter, bullpen option. Well, let me just cheat and go this way. There you go. Okay, so in case you guys haven't had time to read it anyway, it looks like they've got multiple different types of offers on the table for Carlos Correa, one of which, of course, is the options, much like he did last year, the 3-year, 105, something in that neighborhood. They've also got a long-term deal out on the table. As far as how long of a deal, that remains unknown, but according to a lot of the Minneapolis reporters, they're reporting that they really want to keep the shortstop in town. He really kind of helped spur them early in the season. Now, of course, they kind of fell off a cliff after the trade deadline, but they're a very good team that just needs to kind of get something going in the right direction. Charles, am I streaming any World Cup games? No, unfortunately not. I'm not a huge soccer fan. If I was to stream a game, it'd probably be some of the favorites that are out there, but or a U.S. game. I know I got a lot of U.S. and Canada subscribers, so I'd like to, if I could do one of those, I would, but I don't cover too much of soccer. I'm not that versed in soccer, I'll put it that way. Other than just cheering alongside you guys, you know, that's about it. But Sunday we'll be putting out a lot more videos for you guys as well. We put out, I believe, 7 videos today. We'll have another 7 or 8 videos for you guys tomorrow. A lot of content coming your way. Just so you guys can get an idea of what that'll consist of. The final installment of the Odell Beckham Jr. series about his fit anyway with the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll touch a little bit on hockey as well, how Edmonton is going to need to add some defensemen as they go forward. We're going to touch on the Aaron Judge market yet again, mostly going over the Yankees side of that equation. If you've been paying attention to our lives, we've dug pretty deeply into that over the last couple of evenings anyway, kind of going through the trade scenarios. If the Yankees fail to sign Aaron Judge, what exactly what options they have to try to replace that talent. By the way, there aren't many options at all, honestly. We're also going to check in on the Carlos Rodon market. You'll also see a video coming out about the Mark Davis comments about Josh McDaniels and his blind support for his head coach. And we'll also touch on Donovan Mitchell and the Cleveland Cavaliers as well. So keep your eyes peeled for those. I'll be working pretty much all day, so I'll have those filmed for you this evening and have them post throughout the day tomorrow. Again, if you want to comment on any one of the videos out there, I do see those comments. So when you guys send me something, I see those. I know Cheesy, you posted something that you don't really think Aaron Rodgers should go to Seattle or something to that effect anyway. Well, or that Green Bay shouldn't trade Aaron Rodgers. I mean, if they have all the pieces around Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay's just fine. But obviously this year they don't have all the pieces around him. They need veteran receivers. They haven't been able to run the ball as well as we thought they would. Their defense hasn't been as good as we thought they would be. I had a lot of you guys watch that video. I just put out a video about Aaron Judge about an hour ago. Had over 1,500 views on it already. So thank you guys for watching it. I really do appreciate it. But if you guys have any questions at all, please send them our way. James, thanks for joining us. Charles, thanks for joining us. Gained several new subscribers. Aaron, appreciate you for subscribing. Trish, I think I saw yours on there as well. I know there was another one. Jim, I think, was another one that subscribed today. So appreciate all the new subscribers. They kind of go on in this article that they could pivot to another shortstop because they don't just want to have a blank spot in their lineup. They did trade away Gio Urshela. Welcome in, Trish. Appreciate y'all. The site that I was referencing earlier was baseballtradevalues.com, in case you guys are wondering. As far as the Aaron Judge, options for the Yankees anyway, what could they do next? That's what we kind of went over with the Yankees yesterday anyway, and the day before. Kind of went team by team and just kind of looked at who could they actually bring in to fill the shoes of Aaron Judge. The answer really is Shohei Ohtani, which he's not getting moved from the Los Angeles Angels. They're trying to build around him in the hopes of keeping him for next season. The other option they have, of course, is Fernando Tatis Jr., but again, a lot of the market right now says he's not going to get traded, and I still believe that's more likely to happen. But I think if you can sit down with A.J. Preller, I think you could pry him away if you make a strong enough offer. That team has performed really well with Juan Soto and Manny Machado at the helm, and they do need to rebuild their prospect capital that they traded away for Juan Soto. They have to get the long-term extension done with Juan Soto. But if you make a convincing enough argument, have the prospects to do it, maybe some major league talent already ready for the Padres as well. Maybe if you're a Yankees team and you're desperate enough, you get something like that done. Send them DJ LeMahieu, something like that as far as a major leaguer to take his spot in the lineup. And then, of course, all the prospects that they want, essentially. If you guys were paying attention today as well, we did put out that video about the Zach Wilson, the quarterback of the New York Jets, getting benched anyway, basically for his lack of accountability and taking responsibility after the game last week, where his offense only put up 3 points the entire game, threw 9 complete passes in the entire game as well, mustered only 21 total yards of offense in the entire second half. Just could not do anything, completely inept on offense. Mike White has been named the starter at least for now, and I'll be surprised if Zach Wilson gets the job back anytime soon. He looks like he probably lost that locker room. I just don't see them, forgiving him and the lack of realizing your own mistakes. Kind of always here. He entered the league anyway with the air of kind of having his nose stuck up in the air, like he's too good, doesn't know his own stuff stinks. We'll put it that way. We also have another video coming out later this week about the Denver Broncos head coach Nathaniel Hackett. He ceded the play calling duties over to Clint Kubiak. I believe that's just basically the final nail in the coffin for Nathaniel Hackett. I mean, he was brought into Denver as an offensive genius, and yet the one thing he can't do is manage the offense. Russell Wilson has more bathrooms in his own house than he does touchdown passes this season so far. A guy on TikTok, anyway, has been keeping us updated all season long about how that's been going, and it doesn't look like he's going to pass. Welcome back, Clay. Wilson is Jamarcus Russell with wheels. That's a very blunt one there, but I don't know if he has that much wheels anymore either. Oh, I like that one though. Oh. But I think Nathaniel Hackett's pretty much gone at the end of the season. He can't manage the play, or he can't manage the clock duties. They had to bring on somebody else to handle that for him. Now he's seated over the play calling duties. What exactly is he bringing to that team? They of course are still paying a couple of coaches now. Same thing with the Raiders. They're still paying Gruden, I believe. They're going to be paying McDaniels if they fire him. So they'll be paying 3 coaches if they get rid of Josh McDaniels. We'll see where he ends up going. Huge arm, yes. Poor decision making, absolutely. Horrible accuracy, absolutely. Bad attitude. I don't know if I would say Wilson has a bad attitude. I just think it's maybe a what's it called? Oblivious attitude to everybody else around him. Broncos country, let's ride. Oh, Zach Wilson. I was going to say Russell because I just started talking about Russell Wilson. Okay. Zach, okay. Huge arm, okay. Poor accuracy, decision making, and a bad attitude. Yeah, I could see that. Of course, Jamarcus had a little bit of wheels in college anyway, but when he came into the NFL, way overweight, those wheels were completely gone. One video that I decided not to make anyway was about the Eagles bringing in Linval Joseph and Nadakam Suh. Pretty sure I'm mispronouncing the name, but really good defensive tackles. I'm curious to see how they improve. A couple of good veterans there. Philly's going to have to adapt a little bit now that they've had some difficulties over the last couple of games. Curious to see what they have up their sleeve. I want to see how they're growing. If they show me the same old offense, that tells me, a big red flag right there if they're not able to adapt and grow from what the struggles have been over the last couple of weeks. Not saying that, if they roll the same offense out there and still score, the same amount of points, etc., or score more, that doesn't tell me anything. What tells me is how they're managing the game, how they choose to deploy Jalen Hurts in the run game as well. I want to see them adapt in that area. They haven't really done it yet, haven't been forced to do it, but now over the last couple of weeks anyway, we're finally see them running into some walls, defenses being able to stop the run against them. And then, of course, Jalen Hurts bailing him out at the end of the game against the Colts. Colts, by the way, have been a surprising 1-1 team under Jeff Saturday so far. Gave the Eagles all they could handle. Touched a little bit on a 5-team trade in the NBA last night anyway. Some rumors are starting to come out that they're waiting until the December 15th restriction anyway for a lot of the new players that have been signed by new teams. You cannot trade them until after December 15th, and so that could be the reason why the trade is being held up. The trade is supposed to include the Golden State Warriors, Phoenix Suns, Houston Rockets, San Antonio Spurs, and the Atlanta Hawks. A lot of big names involved in the trade, but the key pieces essentially, Jay Crowder and Podol go from the Suns and Spurs respectively to the Warriors. Warriors are going to send out Wiseman and possibly Kuminga, maybe Moody, depending on how the final deal ends up working out. It will also see Eric Gordon going to Phoenix as well as Wiseman, I believe. And then John Collins anyway, and maybe Bogdan Bogdanovic being traded by the Hawks to kind of free up some salary. Things are not working out with John Collins in Atlanta. He's averaging 12.5 points a game when he's making $25 million a year. Not exactly a great fit there now that they've made the trade for DeJounte Murray. They need to move on elsewhere from him at that position. Just invest that money differently, and they should do a lot better going forward. And then as far as hockey goes, I haven't made a video about it yet, but Jason Robertson of the Dallas Stars is kind of going off right now. He's going on to that next level of stardom in the NHL. I think he's over 2 points a game over the last 14 games. He's on pace to be well over 100. He's already broken 50 points so far through, I believe, 20, 21 games, something like that. By the way, there's another 60 to go. He's having a fantastic year. He's trying to reach the level of Leon Draisaitl, Sidney Crosby, Alex Ovechkin, Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, that level of offensive player. And so far, he looks every bit as good as those guys this year. Jamie Benz had a resurgent year. You can check that video out here on YouTube as well. Patrick Kane looks like a trade candidate for the Chicago Blackhawks. Be curious to see how his money is divvied up. Same thing with Jonathan Taves and Seth Jones. They all have the same agent, and basically before the season, their agent said, hey, we don't need any of this. We didn't sign up to be a rebuilding team. Did not agree with the additions they were making. A lot of one-year contracts on guys like Max Domi, Athanasio, players who turn over the puck, are good offensively when they're on, have some talent, but are not players that are known for winning games for you. The Stars actually scored 5 goals in the third period the other night to beat them 6-4 in Dallas. Dallas just couldn't get out of their own way offensively. Welcome back, Anthony. It's been a while. Kane to the Rangers. That'd be a good fit. That's one of the teams that's rumored to be interested in him, along with the Oilers, Kings, Devils, and Stars are all teams that are rumored to be fits for Patrick Kane. Again, he's not having a great year so far, though. We'll see if he can pick it up on a team that's a little bit more inspired to win, we'll say, playing with better line mates, etc. But again, not a lot of Major League Baseball news today. Told you guys earlier today about the meeting that the Giants had with Aaron Judge on Tuesday. A whole host of meetings that they had, culminating in a ownership level meeting between Aaron Judge and the owners of the San Francisco Giants. Apparently, those meetings went very well. News came out just, about half an hour ago that the Giants are very encouraged by what they're seeing. They're encouraged about the market for Aaron Judge. They didn't think, or I think they thought they were going to be in there with Aaron Judge. I don't think they thought they would have this big of an option or opportunity to get Aaron Judge, and I think that's solely because the Yankees still have a lot more to do this offseason. I wonder if Aaron Judge is just waiting to see what ends up happening before the winter meetings ultimately get underway. Remember, they already brought back Anthony Rizzo. I imagine he wants to see another pitching addition as well as an outfielder brought in. But we could see Aaron Judge signed by the winter meetings. Hopefully you guys had a good Thanksgiving, had a whole bunch of food, drove safely, took care of business, relaxed, enjoyed your food coma. I know I enjoyed mine. It was really good. Had turkey stuffing, rutabagas, potatoes, pie, pumpkin cheesecake, some dinner rolls, homemade turkey neck gravy. Fantastic. But just wanted to kind of give you that little bit of news on Carlos Correa. We'll be back at it tomorrow night. Hopefully we'll have some more news as far as Major League Baseball goes. Did you see that Toronto Blue Jays player, it did not specify who, but accused Aaron Judge and another what you're referring to is the Alex Manoah, the starting pitcher for the Blue Jays anyway. He accused Garrett Cole of cheating. That was what was actually the headline there. Garrett Cole with the sticky stuff issue, how his spin rate dropped and all that. But again, that's what a lot of Major League players were using at the time. They just basically had to curve it back. We saw how Major League Baseball as a whole saw spin rates drop after the implementation of the punishments for sticky stuff, if you will. Garrett Cole was not the only one to suffer negatively from the sticky stuff. But Alex Manoah not holding back on that one. Now, if there was another Blue Jays player going after Judge and other American League hitters, I did not see that one. But I think the one you're referring to is the Alex Manoah interview about Garrett Cole and others. But as I mentioned, not a lot of news in baseball today. Hopefully tomorrow, after the Thanksgiving break, anyway, we could see a signing or two. Some rumors start to come out, and then Monday, I expect to see a whole bunch more rumors start to come down the pike. Especially now that the Thanksgiving break will be past, GMs are back in their offices and trying to gear up for the winter meetings, making calls to other teams, trying to set the market for what the trade market could look like once they do get down to San Diego, where their winter meetings are being held. And just as a friendly reminder, we will be live for you guys off and on throughout the entirety of the winter meetings. If anything does happen important, we'll make a quick, short little video about it, and then we'll immediately go live thereafter, answer any questions that you guys have about the signing, what it means for the team, what the contract terms were, where is he coming from, where is he going, who's left on the market. We'll have all of that breakdown for you guys throughout the winter meetings. That, again, is going to be the first Sunday in December through that Thursday. We'll be live with you guys pretty much that entire week. When you say sticky stuff, is that equivalent to the stickum you saw in the NFL and the receivers in the 70s and 80s? No. Sticky stuff is more like, well, as far as sticky stuff, there's like, I don't know, hundreds of different products that MLB players were using that weren't necessarily legal to per se anyway, but now that Major League Baseball has kind of set what is and what is not allowed, basically nothing. Basically the rosin bag, and that's it. That's essentially what you're allowed to use on the mound. That's why they're checking you for any goop on your hat, making sure you don't have anything tucked behind your ears. We've seen them check Max Scherzer for that a few times. Anything on your back pant leg or anything like that. That's why they have to check them in between innings every now and again. Spider tack's one of them, yeah. Saw your comment that you put on my video today, Giants fan. Appreciate it. I really do appreciate when you guys interact with those videos. It really does, mean a lot that you guys are interacting and enjoying the videos. Tells me what I can, what kind of content you guys want to see, and I'll try to put out more of that. I've had a lot of reaction to the Aaron Judge stuff lately, so I'll try to put out more of that and try to get back on the Jacob deGrom stuff as well. We should see his market pretty much move here in the next 2 weeks. I think the Mets are really wanting to see a response from Jacob deGrom, I believe, by this week. I thought that by Thanksgiving, if he was going to sign with the Mets, we might have already seen him do it. But the market seems to be moving a little bit slower than the Mets would like, so maybe he'll still sign before the winter meetings. But the Mets are not going to wait around long. They've already been in discussions with Senga and Verlander. They're willing to move forward if deGrom's going to hold him hostage until the winter meetings or even afterward. The Rangers, meanwhile, are very happy to wait as long as necessary, as long as they have the best offer on the table, and deGrom is still serious about joining the Rangers. The Rangers are very, very comfortable just waiting to see how this plays out. Mets, on the other hand, they've got a lot of issues that they need to take care of, not just with Jacob deGrom, but their other starters in that rotation. Chris Bassett, Taijuan Walker, they have 3 holes in their starting staff right now. They also have to worry about Brendan Nimmo out in the outfield. And by the way, that's just their own free agents. Now, that's still they still need to improve that offense, I believe. We'll see if they get the job done. But they've got a lot of balls in the air that they need to juggle and handle everything accordingly. If that's why they cannot wait necessarily as long as other teams might be willing to for Jacob deGrom. So as I said, we could see some movement on Jacob deGrom as early as next week if he decides to go back to the Mets. And if he doesn't, I think that pretty much means he's willing to go elsewhere, say the Dodgers or the Rangers. Those are 2 of the teams that have had contact with him and are very interested in bringing him in. Dodgers, again, saved over $100 million in payroll from last year, so they've got plenty of money to burn. Say they bring in Aaron Judge at, say, $45 million. That still leaves them $55 million in payroll that they can add on that they were at last year to bring in a shortstop or a starting pitcher or whatever else they want to do to round out that lineup. I keep hearing the Red Sox are a dark horse candidate for Aaron Judge. I'll believe that when I see it, but you'll see a lot of headlines out there that are meant to grab your attention. Just make sure you take everything with a grain of salt when you see headlines like the one for Aaron Judge to the Red Sox. Sure, he'd be a great fit and all those kinds of things. Stealing him from the Yankees would mean so much to the Red Sox faithful, but it's not going to happen. Stick with you guys for just a couple more minutes here. If you guys have any questions, check on your fantasy football teams for this weekend's games. I think I'm at least, it looks like I'm heading to the playoffs in all but like 2 or 3 of my leagues. Not bad for 22, 23 leagues that I'm in. Not too bad. Mentioned the buy low candidates for the outfield that are out there. You know, Cody Bellinger, Joey Gallo. We keep hearing headlines about Cody Bellinger having a big market right now. The Blue Jays, of course, are one of the teams most interested in him. Sorry, got a gnat flying around me. But we'll see where he ends up going. His market seems to be a little bit more robust than I think the Dodgers were even willing to admit when they non-tendered him. Joey Gallo, same thing. We saw him strike out over 40% of the time last year. Contact rate really drops. Walk weight really dropped as well. Developed really big holes in his swing as the season went along because of that poor the usage of Joey Gallo just went way down. So those issues just kind of compiled upon themselves and just made it worse and worse and worse. So he needs to go somewhere where he can get regular at bats, no pressure. We'll see if he chooses to go for a playoff contender where he's going to be a platoon type player. The shift should help him now that it's going to be banned. Some of those balls that are hard hitting to right field in between the first and second baseman now might fall in a little bit more often. Probably see his batting average just with what he's doing already, probably getting to the 230, 240 range. And if you can correct some of those strikeout numbers, you might see him up at 260. If you can get Joey Gallo with his power to hit 260, you're talking about an all-star level player. Probably talking Kyle Schwarber hit, 40 home runs this year? We're talking very similar home run potential if he can get up to that 260 mark. But again, that's a big ask for Joey Gallo at this point. That's why I said he needs regular playing time to solve those holes that he got in his swing. But thank you guys for joining us here tonight. As I mentioned, we'll be back with you guys tomorrow. We'll have several videos coming out for you guys, so keep your eyes peeled for those. Appreciate all the new subscribers we've gained today. Really do appreciate all the support we've gotten. When you comment on our videos, I really do appreciate that as well. Lets me know what you guys like and try to make some more content in that same vein. But we'll see you guys tomorrow night. And happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hopefully y'all had a good one. And go enjoy the rest of the Thanksgiving weekend with your family. And we'll see you guys soon. Thank you.